Okay, greetings. This is Coach Jaki, and in this session I will share with you how to communicate so that people understand you. In this session, I will share with you the communication skills model, and then I will also show you the importance of the Seidu Matrix and give you examples of specific communication needs that your team members might have. Please note that while I will share examples from the work environment or from the corporate environment, you can use the skills that I will share in any situation where you would like the people that you are speaking with or the people that you are talking to understand you, so that together you can accomplish whatever goals you might have in common. This is how to speak so that people understand you. And I will start off by sharing with you a hierarchy of employees' communication needs, because it will help you to understand how you should communicate depending on the needs of the employees. So a lot of critical communication takes place amongst employees and amongst leaders and their employees. And I know that there are very many leaders or many business people who complain that the people they have employed don't do what they are supposed to do. So you can communicate in such a way that people understand the directions that you're giving, so that you can agree on priorities and deadlines. You are required to communicate by supplying information that is needed to do the job, and also involving your team in planning and implementing change. How does your business strategy relate to what the employees do? This is something that you need to communicate. Do they see themselves as contributing to the business success or to the goals or the impact that you're looking to have? And are you treating them like they contribute? Are you treating them like they matter? This is all a question of how you communicate with them. Employees require communication at different levels, as I have said, and I'm going to go through all of them, but I will share these different levels first. So at the first level, your employee would like to know, what is my job? At the second level, your employee would like to know, how am I doing? How is he or she performing? Once this individual level communication needs are met, then it is relevant or it makes sense for the employee to begin to engage with the wider unit. So the fourth level then becomes, how is my unit doing? And then where are we headed as a unit? And finally, how can I help? So your employees actually expect you to be able to answer their questions and listen and act on their worthwhile suggestions. You can add value to overall performance if you communicate in such a way that you can motivate your staff to achieve the levels that they need to achieve. And to motivate them to this level as a leader, it's important for you to be accessible, to recognize performance. So this video, this session is really all about giving you a picture of what that looks like in operational terms. So the key information needs of the employee or the team member. And I encourage you, as you are listening to me, to bring to mind examples of situations that you have faced, so that you're then able to apply the solutions that I am proposing. So we'll go to the first level of employee needs, and this is, what is my job? Yeah? Many people assume that because they have given a job description, they have answered this question. But you actually need to do more than that. You need to help the employee to understand exactly what you expect them to do. So the more detail you can give, the better it is for the employee. What the person's job is entails understanding what should they prioritize. Are there any deadlines? What information do they need in order to do the job, or in order to do the job to the standard that you are expecting? And at what level can you involve them in implementing or in planning, so that you're not telling them everything that they need to do and exactly how they have to do it, but also giving them some leeway to decide how they are going to achieve the results that you expect them to achieve. And I think one important thing that we should also pay attention to is what has been referred to as the Seidu Matrix. So this is a matrix that looks at, on one axis, it looks at what you say and whether you commit to what you say to a low level or to a high level. So what is the level of commitment to what you say? But then on the other hand, what you do versus what you say. So if you say things and then you actually do what you say, then it means you have a high level of say-do. People can trust your word. When you say you're going to do something, they know that you are going to do it. But we all know that, you know, the world is not perfect. So sometimes you can be very convincing, you can be very inspirational when you're speaking to your employees and say that you're going to do many things, in which case you are high on saying, but then you actually don't do. And the danger with this is when you seriously mean something, people will not believe you because you are not credible, because they have examples of when you said you would do things but you didn't actually do them. But on the other hand, you might also do things without saying. And again, this has got problems because people will wonder what you are keeping from them. If your employees wake up one day and you have done something that you never mentioned, that you didn't talk about, that is not part of the strategy, they might start to wonder what else are you keeping from them. And this is why it is good to maintain a good balance between what you say and what you do. And of course, you know, there is that situation where maybe you don't say anything and you don't do anything, which is really, really non-performance, if I may say so. So the thing to remember as we go through this whole video is that you are seeking to maintain a high level of having alignment between what you say and what you do, because this is also going to serve as a good example for the employees that you are trying to engage, the employees that you are trying to inspire, so that together you deliver the results that you are looking for. So the second level of communication need for your employees is for them to understand how they are doing. So they know what they are supposed to do, but are they doing it properly? Are they doing it to the level that you expect? So this requires you to give them feedback. People want to know how they are doing. And for you to communicate in an engaging manner at this level, you need to provide feedback on performance. Tell them what they have done right. Discuss actions for improvement. So where they haven't done what you expected, explain to them why you believe that what they did is not what you expected. Show them how they can correct it. And make this feedback a frequent and timely thing. So yes, you might have an annual performance review, but don't wait a whole year in order to give a long list of all the things that your employee didn't do right. So make this feedback frequent and timely. So if you see something on the spot that you can give feedback on, by all means do so. Don't wait until that scheduled performance review, partly because the mood of that scheduled performance review is usually very, very different. There's often high stress levels, and then it might also be difficult for the employee to remember the things that you are bringing up months later, and that means that then it is even more difficult for them to improve on them. When you're giving feedback, it's important that you demonstrate that you are willing to listen to the employee's point of view, that you are willing to help the employee to improve. So you are not simply pointing out what they have done wrong without explaining to them what is the right thing to do, how they might do it, but also without giving them an opportunity to share the challenges that they might face. The next level of communication need is for the employee to know whether anybody cares. So while the employee has understood what is expected and how they are performing, they also want to know whether it matters. Why does it matter? Who cares? So it's also important for you to communicate that you care, to communicate why employees doing the right thing matters and how it matters to the business or to the project that you are working on. So once you have met these individual communication needs, then the employee is in a better frame of mind to understand how they are performing in the context of the team or the whole unit. So this is where now you communicate about how the unit is performing. When someone feels like a valued member of the organization, then they are more curious about their collective output. And so you need to communicate a sense of we by sharing general business information on a timely basis. So don't only talk to the employee about the specific area that they contribute to. Discuss departmental objectives and how they match overall business objectives. Recognize departmental achievements and use, like, tea, coffee time or staff meetings to share results on a cross-departmental level. The employee who believes that they belong to a unit or that they belong to a team are also in a better position to understand this whole idea of vision, mission, and values. And I know it might be confusing because very often the first thing that you see in any organizational presentation is what their vision, their mission, and their values are. And I'm not saying that this shouldn't be shared with employees at the start. But what I'm saying is it is only once the employee individual communication needs and their feeling of belonging to a unit have been met that vision, mission, and values become relevant. So make sure that you meet those first 4 communication needs before you start trying to see whether they understand the vision, mission, and values. Because obviously, if the employee doesn't feel they belong, they're not going to be in a position to contribute to the mission, to the vision, and to the values. But the employee is also in a position to contribute beyond, their unit or beyond their specific job. So provide opportunities for people to get involved. Empower them to take initiative. Support risk takers. So don't say, oh, I want to hear what ideas you have about how we can resolve this problem, and then you don't implement a single idea or you don't follow up on a single idea. Or don't say that I expect you to take the initiative, but when somebody takes the initiative and then perhaps something goes wrong, you punish them. Yeah? So if you want employees to really contribute, to really go out of the way to help the business to grow, to find innovative ways of solving the problems that your business meets, you really need to encourage this spirit of how can I help? Allow the opportunity, give them the opportunity to help, recognize and reward contributions, and encourage cross-functional collaboration so that you don't have people working in silos, people hiding information from each other. And all of this is going to really help you to promote mutual trust, which of course is important for any organization. So as I finish, I just want to speak a little bit about why it is important. What's the payoff for following this model? First of all, you will require less supervision. People know what they're supposed to do. People know where they need to go when they have a problem. You will have greater teamwork, so less fights between team members. You will have higher morale and commitment from your employees, and there will be better management of conflict as well. And of course, all of this is going to result in better quality in terms of your services to your customers or even within the organization. It is also important to note that if you build this kind of environment, then there will be less resistance to change where change is required. Your employees need to have you as the primary source of information. And this is why it's important for you to be able to communicate in a way that engages them by following the model that I shared. So just to finish off, I will just remind you that the employee communication needs hierarchy begins with, I want to know what my job is, I want to know how I am doing, and I want to know that somebody cares. And when these needs are met, then we can go to the wider environment where the employee can begin to understand that they belong to a unit and they want to see how they are contributing to that unit and where they are going in terms of the business strategy. So vision, mission, and values then begin to make sense. And of course, when employees feel engaged to this level, they're in a better position to offer to help, and you can help them by empowering them to take the initiative and to take risks. So this has been How to Speak so that people can understand you. And I am Coach Jaki.